The best time for Fortnite fans is coming up. Believe it or not, we are already about to be in the last FNCS of the year. Well, besides the global championships, of course, and before that FNCS starts, I wanted to give my updated peterbot's peak, the series where I rank the current top 10 trios in the world based on their things like performance, how good I think they are actually as a individual trio, and the eye test as well. We have a lot of new teams making it onto the mountain today, some teams also completely falling off of it. Real quick before the video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we are so close to 110,000 subscribers. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code Kdog in the Fortnite item shop. Like we always do for this series though, let's start off with the trios that are currently off of the peak. So if you are new to this series, the off the peak section is for the trios that are just outside of that top 10. The first trio that I have on this list might come as a surprise to some of you guys because they haven't even played a single tournament yet together this season. It is the trio of Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache. Now I like to make the reference that Swizzy is currently in the hyperbolic chamber. He has been gearing up and loading up, and we have all been so patiently waiting for him to get back from Russia, where he is trying to get his visa so he can compete at globals. Swizzy has not competed in a single tournament this entire season. I feel like a lot of people are really starting to disrespect this team after they ended up getting a 5th place in last grand finals, but what people also fail to remember is that this team was heavily the favorites going into that FNCS as well. So I think it is kind of crazy how a trio that was pretty much unanimously the favorites going into last FNCS, a lot of people are already just completely writing them off. I think this could be a difficult season for them if they are just going to be contesting Demon's Domain for the rest of it versus Malibuca, Ping, and Walks. And this is also 100% to me a top 10 trio in the world. I can just not currently put them there yet, simply just based off the fact that we have not seen them in any tournaments since grand finals. The next trio I have on this list is quickly climbing up my trio rankings. It is the trio of Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx. Now Muzz ended up finally making the decision to leave Rise, and since then, in his very limited appearances with his trio, this trio has won 3 out of the 6 Eval Cup games they have played together, so they have a 50% win rate over there, and they have placed 6th and 5th place in the 2 Div Cup finals that they have played together as well. This is one of the teams that is trying to qualify for LAN this season, and they are one of my higher ranked trios that have yet to be able to qualify for LAN. Another trio that is trying to qualify for LAN, and I honestly probably have no doubt that they might be in my top 10 very soon, is the trio of Sky, Scroll, and Thomas HD. Now unfortunately, as of right now, the only reason that I could not put them inside of my current top 10 in my power rankings is just because they were not able to qualify for the first week of finals that they played together. They have also not won any Eval Cup games, and I'm not really using Eval Cups to too heavily determine my factors for how I am actually ranking these trios, but since there was only 2 Div Cups this season, it's kind of hard to get a good enough sample size to really be able to rank these trios. But in the only Div Cup finals they were able to make, they finished in 5th place in it, and I think this trio is almost going to be one of my locked predictions for being able to qualify for LAN. And then the final team that I have off of the peak, unfortunately the first team to fall outside of the top 10. Last week they were in, I'm pretty sure, exactly 10th place, and this week they are just outside of the top 10. It is the trio of Reet, Cooper, and Curly. Now this trio had an insane week 1 of the Div Cup, finishing in 3rd place, but then they followed it up with probably their worst performance together as a trio, finishing in 11th place in the last Div Cup of the season. And I just think there has been some teams that are more consistent and have shown higher upside than them so far this season. Let's start this off with my team in 10th place. I have the trio of Pink, Nebs, and Kiro. Now this is their first appearance on the mountain for this season. Their Div Cup finals placements are 4th and a 6th place. I think this is almost unanimously most people's pick to be able to be one of the 4 teams to be able to qualify for LAN on EU. I don't think this team has been like crazy dominant in any way, shape, or form this season, but they have been crazy consistent, and that is all they are going to need if they want to be able to book their ticket to France this year. I like the chemistry, I like the work ethic from this trio, and that is why I currently have them in my 10th place spot. Moving on to my 9th place spot is a new trio that just formed this season of Booga, Threats, and Craze. Now this team had a lot of drama around their name at the beginning of this season when everyone was wondering what is the actual decision Booga's gonna make. Is he going to stick with Rapid after being just 1 spot off of being able to qualify for LAN last season, or is Craze going to somehow find his way back onto the Booga trio? And that is exactly what he ended up doing, and in their only 2 Div Cup finals that they have played together, they placed 4th and 3rd place in it. This trio has also shown that they do have fragging potential as well, finishing with the 2nd most elims in all of the Div Cups last week. Well, that's on NA at least. And I don't think a lot of us can really conceptualize a LAN without Bugha in it. He seems to be fully locked in, fully grinding, and I am very excited for this trio. 8th place is probably a trio I would have been a lot higher in if this was just after the first Div Cup of the season, but I have the team who won week 1 on NA of Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid. This is another trio that also had a lot of drama for them going when they ended up forming together. Everybody was saying like, oh, Kanata literally trash talked Rapid so much after they originally split up. They were one of my main teams to watch out for in week 1 of the Div Cup, and they came out with an absolute bang, winning 3 out of the 6 matches in it and pulling off the win. Bolts had some of the craziest final stats that I have seen in a while, literally pulling off prime peterbot numbers. But then in this most recent Div Cup where they finished in 4th place in it, which also necessarily isn't even that bad either, and that's why they still do earn a top 8 spot on the mountain, but they really showed some of their potential flaws as a trio. When things don't go their way on high ground and when they're not able to successfully hold it, it seems like they don't have much of a game plan after that. Now, I have said this numerous times about this trio. I see no way that this team should be considered a high ground merchant team when you have players like Kanata, who's one of the best support fraggers on all of NA, Bolts, who has shown the potential that he can be still a top 5 to top 3 player on NA, and Rapid, who is known as one of the best fighting IGLs in the entire world. This should be on paper a trio that can frag through the mid-ground layers. They just really necessarily have never showed that when they have been playing together as a trio, even going back to their old days together. But I still think 8th place is a very solid spot for these guys to be at. And for everybody that is saying that they're a potential FNCS winning team, I feel like I'm not 100% ready to jump on that bandwagon quite yet, but I do think that they are a top 3 potential team, maybe even a top 2 if Peter and Acorn trio continue to contest each other. Now, 7th place is a trio that probably has the biggest fluctuation on all of this list, is Vico, Vino, and Flixie. Now, if I did this list after last week where they finished 12th place with a completely uncontested Brittle Boxcars, I don't even know if I would have them inside of my top 10. For somebody that literally predicted these guys to win or finish 2nd place in that Cash Cup, them not even finishing top 10 really did disappoint me, and I expected a lot more out of them. Then we all know what they did after that, finishing in 2nd place in only 5 total matches in the last Div Cup of the season, showing that they can still be a potential FNCS winning trio, and with some big names that are contesting each other in EU now as well, like Queasy and Malibuca, this very well could be a season where Vico, Vino, and Flixie win FNCS once again. This team is going to have an uncontested drop spot. I think if we're talking just pure skill-wise alone, they are 100% a top 5, maybe even a top 3 trio on the region. But the only reason why I have them this low was because of their week 1 performance. And that is why I have the team in 6th place right above them of Ferdoxy, Pablo, and Chino. Because in week 1, they almost had the exact same placement as them, getting a 14th place while being contested by Mr. Savage off spawn. And then we know what happened in week 2. This trio finished with far and away the most elims, getting 52 total elims and winning the Div Cup finals. Now, I have been saying this ever since last season ended. Pablo, Chino, and Ferdoxy were going to be such a scary and fun trio to watch out for over the next upcoming seasons, and they are already showing their maximum potential right now, winning finals by a good margin as well. They have the best POI on the map, completely uncontested. I don't know how people can really sit there with a straight face and tell you this isn't a potential FNCS winning team. This trio quite literally almost won FNCS last season with Mass Meadows, so they have a better drop spot than that, more time spent together now, more practice together. I don't know how we are saying this isn't a potential winning trio. Let's get on to my top 5 now, and a trio that I really wish I could place a lot higher on this mountain, and I think they do have an argument for being the best trio in all of EU, but I have the team of Ping, Walks, and Malibuca. This trio has placed 7th place and 3rd place in the 2 Div Cup finals that they have made. In the most recent Div Cup was the only one where they were fully uncontested at Demon's Domain, and they finished in 3rd place. I'm a little concerned about this trio's future with them being con now, but once again, this isn't a prediction list. This is a power ranking and how good I actually think these trios are and how they have been performing. Now, in 4th place, I think is the lowest I have ever had this trio since they formed together. It is the team of Peterbot, Cold, and Rich. ritual. Now, Peter has finally fallen off of the top of his peak. His placements in the Div Cup finals are a 7th place and a 20th place. If you're wondering how he is even so high on this mountain with those placements, it's because at the end of the day, I do still think that they are just a better trio and they have a better track history than pretty much everybody that is under them. And even though it has been very limited in the games that they have made it off spawn, they have still looked like far and away one of the best trios in the entire world. And I really do still believe that if they had an Uncon Demon's domain, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, they would be first place on this mountain. I think this is a fair drop off for them though. Going from first place on the mountain all the way down to 4th now, a lot of us should still probably agree that pure skill wise, they're one of the best teams in the entire world. They just don't necessarily have the placements to back that up. Let's move on to the top of the peak now. In 3rd place, I have the trio of Clicks, Iamzo, and Higgs. This is the exact same placement that they were at going into this season. Their placements in the 2 Div Cups were 2nd place in both of them. I think this trio had pretty much the easiest path to looking like the best trio in the world up until this point. They had the best POI completely uncontested. The other 2 best teams on the region were contesting each other. There is no reason why Clicks, Iamzo, and Higgs shouldn't have won both of the Div Cup finals. So that is why, unfortunately, I have to put them in 3rd place. Moving on to my top 2 now. In 2nd place might be a little bit of recency bias, but you can't tell me that this recency bias isn't fair. I have the trio of Poyo, Acorn, and Agers. I was so like this literally close to putting them at the top of the mountain. This was almost Poyo's peak for this week. Poyo, Acorn, and Agers finished the last Div Cup of the season with 438 points, won 3 out of their only 5 games that they made it off spawn, got 59 total elims, and an average placement of 8.3. For a trio to accomplish all of that while being contested by probably one of the greatest off-spawn players of all time, and what was pretty much widely known as the best trio in the world, coming off of a tournament literally like 2 days prior to that where they were literally crashing out on each other. Poyo wasn't even in the same call as them. This trio really did finally show us once again that they can be, and they honestly should be if they were fully uncontested, FNCS favorites. I don't think anyone is still going to be predicting them to actually win grand finals though if the current off-spawn situation stays the same, unfortunately. That is why I have been saying time and time again now, like the Peter vs Poyo off-spawn is fun to watch in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, I would just so much rather enjoy both of these teams being fully uncontested, because NA is just so much more fun to watch when all of the top teams are able to make it into the end game. And then finally, that leaves the top of the peak, a brand new leader of the mountain. We have the trio of Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. Their placements this season were a 1st and a 4th place. They were in a great position to win back-to-back Div Cups, but then in the final 2 games, they ended up struggling with Surge. I think this is currently the high ground team on EU, especially with Queasy being not very present so far this season. They're the trio that's coming off of winning FNCS. They're a team that we know can absolutely frag out, and I think up until this point, currently this season, they are the best team in the world. So if you want the recap of the entire mountain, in 10th place we have Pink Nebs and Kiro, 9th place Booga, Threats, and Craze, 8th place Kanata, Bolton, Rapid, 7th place is Vico, 6th for Doxy, going into the top 5, Malibuka in 5th, Peter in 4th, Clicks in 3rd, Poyo in 2nd, and then in 1st place, I have the trio of Marius, Pixie, and Vanya. As always, these are my most controversial videos, so let me know everything you disagree with in the comment section down below. Let's have some real discussions on this, and I am just so excited for FNCS time now, finally coming up. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code Kdog in the Fortnite item shop. YouTube says I'm enjoying one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter and my Twitch, link in the description down below. If you guys want to keep up to date with me, thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.